Hi, my name's Lily and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. If you don't know what that is, it's a tag that allows booktubers and book bloggers to check in and talk about how their reading year has gone so far and to talk about their plans and anticipated reads for the rest of the year. The first question is, what is the best book that you have read so far this year? For me, I definitely think the best book of the year so far is Venom by Bex Hogan. This is the sequel to Viper, which is part of the Isles of Storm and Sorrow series. Sorry if you can hear loud rustling, Maggie's playing in her crinkle tunnel. Anyway, this is, it's such a good book. Like, Bex Hogan's characters are just incredible and the plot twists are amazing. I just absolutely love this. I pre-ordered it, and as part of the pre-order campaign I'm going to get a signed book plate, which I'm really excited for because the first book, Viper, I have the Fairy Loot edition which is signed, so then I'll have a matching signed set, which is really exciting. Question number 2 is, what is your favourite sequel of the year so far? This is super easy. I mean, by choosing Venom as my favourite book, it kind of meant that I could choose a different sequel as the best sequel, which is helpful, and it's really obvious what it should be, and that is Aurora Burning by Jade Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is the Illumicrate version, I believe. I also have the standard hardback and the Forbidden Planet hardback. Obviously this one's blue. I think the standard edition is like a burnt orangey red colour, and the Forbidden Planet one is yellow. Yeah, this is just, it's really hard to talk about without giving any spoilers, but the character development in this one was amazing. There were so many great plot twists in it. I mean, there was a couple that I called, but it was just, it was so good. I love a book that can surprise me with its plot twists because I am quite good at predicting them, and this one really did just, and everyone's been complaining about the ending, but I actually think that the ending was perfect because, I mean, without giving any spoilers away, there wasn't really a way they could conclude it without leaving the ending as open and as cliffhangery as they did, and it felt to me like a very natural conclusion to that part of the story, and the next book will then continue on, wrap up that scene essentially, although, I mean, that scene's obviously not going to get wrapped up, otherwise the book would just be 10 pages long, but yeah. Anyway, Aurora Burning, so good. I loved it so much. It's so funny, got so much heart, and it's just incredible. Question number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet that you're really excited for? And for me it is Wonderland by Juno Dawson. I've got a pre-order of it and it is coming, it's just that the shipping is really slow in the UK at the moment because of COVID, but I am really excited to read that. It sounds so good. I think I've only read Clean by Juno Dawson, but I loved it. From what I understand, it is sort of a companion novel / just in the same world as Clean, which is great because I loved Clean. And I'm really excited to read it. It sounds like a really great book, and I've heard some really great things from people who've had early copies or have already read the finished copy. Question number 4 is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of 2020? I don't really know much about what books are coming out each year because I'm rubbish like that. I just kind of wait for everyone to be like, oh my god, look at this amazing book, it's so good and it's been so hyped, and then I buy it. So unless it's an author that I really love or a series that I'm really into, it's not usually on my radar. I do like Victoria Schwab books, kind of. Maggie's found a jingly toy. I do like Victoria Schwab books that I've read so far, but I wouldn't say I'm like majorly hyped for Addie LaRue because, I don't know, it doesn't seem like the kind of book I would like, to be honest with you. But I have looked at my pre-orders. I think I've only got 2 pre-orders for the rest of the year. The one that really stands out to me is Limitless by Tim Peake, which is his autobiography. If you don't know who he is, Tim Peake is the British astronaut that went to the space station a couple of years ago. This is really random, but I do like reading autobiographies and things about the experiences of astronauts. I don't know why, but I think their experience sort of gives them this really unique perspective on the world, so I'm really excited to read what Tim Peake has to say because his Q&A book was really great because it's full of heart but also full of knowledge. I'd really like to see what he does with an autobiography. Question number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment of the year so far? And for me it was On the Bright Side by Hendrik Groen. I adored the first book, I really did, and then I saw this in Waterstones and it was a signed hardback edition and it was, I was so excited, and then it's been sat on my TBR for a couple of years now and I just haven't got around to it. And I finally decided to read it. I pulled it out of my TBR jar and I was really hyped. And then I got to a section that was just blatantly racist, and I can't. I think Maggie's about to eat some aloe vera. Nope, we're good. So yeah, it was blatantly racist. After that point, I read a few more pages, and I just decided no, I just couldn't read this book. It was really. The first book is really hopeful and full of a lot of humour and really funny, whereas this one felt very bleak and depressing, and there was a lot of talk about death and assisted suicide, to the point that it lost the humour of the first book, and I just wasn't enjoying it at all. Question number 6 is, what was your biggest surprise of 2020 so far? And for me, it was definitely I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. I just kind of picked this up because I liked Alice Oseman's Heartstopper books. I wasn't expecting much. I had heard a lot of good things, but I wasn't really sure. I listened to it via audiobook while I was driving around a lot for house viewings, and oh my goodness, it's so good. But I do think I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much if I'd read it physically, because I think the tone, I wouldn't have picked up on the tone that Alice Oseman intended if it hadn't been for the audiobook. But the audiobook blew me away. It's definitely a new favourite. I was so surprised. It's so incredible. It really touches on what it's like to have anxiety and to put your whole sort of identity into an external thing like a boy band, and that's something I could definitely relate to. And I do think it's the kind of book that was written for people who grew up with and around fandom, and that's definitely me. So it really spoke to me, and I really liked it. I thought it was so good. And Angel, bless her heart, she's not the most likeable character at times, but she's very relatable for someone like me, and I just adored her. And Jimmy just needs a hug and a day off, to be honest with you, and I would happily give him that. Question number 7 is, who is your new favourite author? And it can be a new debut author or a new to you author. The one I've chosen is both a new to me and a debut, and that is Darren Charlton, who wrote Wranglestone. Because have I talked about Wranglestone enough on this channel yet? Of course not. It's great. I really enjoyed his writing in this book. I thought it was very human. The characters felt real and funny and likeable, and I'm really excited to see what he comes up with next. I'm really excited to read the sequel to Wranglestone, but I'm also definitely going to be picking up his future works because I think he's very talented. Question number 8 is, who is your new fictional crush? And this is going to be a very quick question for me because I don't get fictional crushes, so I haven't got any. Question number 9 is, who is your new favourite character? And a new favourite character for me would be Leah Mara from A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I thought she was really refreshing for a fantasy character because she wanted to try and solve things using words and peace, and I really appreciated that because it's great to have these strong female characters who are warriors and battle people and they're just brr. But I really liked that Leah Mara was softer and gentler and had a different approach to, say, Harper in the first book. I really liked her. I thought she was a wonderful character. I thought she was a great match for the person who she became the love interest for. I really like Leah Mara. I thought she was great, and it's really refreshing to see someone like me in a fantasy novel because I would definitely be the peaceful, bookish person, not the warrior princess person. Question number 10 is going to be another quick one for me, and that is, name a book that made you cry this year. And sadly, I haven't had one make me cry yet. I mean, is that sad? I don't know if that's sad or not. But yeah, I haven't had one make me cry yet. I've definitely read some emotional scenes, but I'm not really one to cry at books anyway, and I don't really read a lot of sad books that would make me cry. But you never know, I might read one this year that does make me cry. Question number 11 is, name a book that has made you happy. And for me that is Loki by Mackenzie Lee. I know Mackenzie Lee is a bit problematic, don't worry, I'm not trying to say she's not, but this book itself made me really happy because I got to finally see a Marvel character be openly queer and non-binary, and I thought that was incredible. I thought the humour was really good, and I loved the heart of this book. And even though you know how it's going to end, you know that Loki becomes the bad guy, but this book makes you think that he might not. It gives you hope, and I really enjoyed that. I really liked feeling like I could see a change in Loki and seeing like there could have been another path. I thought it was so clever, and yeah, I do, as much as I dislike things that Mackenzie Lee has done, I think her writing is actually pretty good. Question number 12 is to name your favourite adaptation so far this year. Actually, I haven't been watching a lot of TV or film because I've been so busy doing dissertation up until a few weeks ago, So I really struggled to come up with one, so I did a quick Google, and luckily for me there was one that came out this year that I did really enjoy, and that is P.S. I Still Love You. That is the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before, which is a book trilogy written by Jenny Han. As much as the movie did stray from the books, as movies always do, I did think it was a pretty good adaptation, and I did really enjoy it. I thought it had a lot of, I don't know, I think it had a lot of the cuteness of the book and the innocence, but also the angst that I enjoyed. I did miss some of the funnier scenes that they cut out, but I do think that they did a really good job. Question number 13 is, what is your favourite video you've posted so far this year? And obviously I've not posted many, so it's going to be a tricky one for me. And also I have to say I'm not particularly proud of any of these videos. I am very much doing this for me, and I'm going with the phrase that was much mocked at my high school but I'm holding on to here, is good enough. So I don't think any of these videos are excellent in any way. I know I need to improve a lot and I've got a lot to learn, but I am enjoying it, and that's what's important. All of that being said, I think the video that I'm proudest of is definitely my Pixarathon announcement video, which is a bit odd because I actually quite dislike that video. I didn't like how much I relied on reading from the blurbs, but what I did like was that it was very brave of me, I feel, to try and start this readathon by myself when I'm such a small blogger. I enjoyed the creativity behind it and getting to think of all of the prompts and to make the document, so I think that's why I really am proud of that video in some ways. Question number 14 is, what is the most beautiful book you have bought so far this year? And this is so easy for me, it was sat on my desk already, and that is Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. And I mean, just look. And then the back and the spine. This is the fairy leaf cover, but the original cover is also gorgeous, and I just, oh, it's lovely, it's so pretty. I believe it may have been illustrated by the author. Does it say? Yeah, it was illustrated by the author, which is even better. And yeah, it's so pretty, look at it. This was a close one though with Havenfall, which I think is also a beautiful cover, but this just has to win. I love it so much. I think it's beautiful and I cannot wait to read this book. I remember seeing this on Depop because I bought this second hand and I saw it and I was like, I have to have that book. But the first set of people that were selling it for crazy money that I can't afford. And then lo and behold, someone comes along quite a while after it had come out from the fairy leaf box, selling it for a really decent price, and I had to jump on that, so I did. And I'm really happy because it's so beautiful. The final question is to name 6 books that you are really excited to read for the rest of the year. I'm not going to go and pick them out because basically Maggie likes to scrabble the boxes that I keep a lot of my TBR in, so I've had to move the boxes into other rooms. I don't want to disturb my family because some of them are currently sleeping. So I'm just going to talk about the books, and you're just going to have to forgive me for that because I can't go and get them out right now. But the books that I've chosen for this, because there are so many I could pick, my TBR is huge, but I have chosen 6 that I instantly came up with. I want to read that, I want to read that, I want to read that immediately. So they are The Black Flamingo, which I'm really excited to read. I was gifted that by someone very kindly. I think I won it in a giveaway. Yes, I won it in a giveaway. I'm really excited because it's not one I would have picked up myself because I'm kind of like, ooh, pros, I'm scared. So I am really excited. It looks really good. The cover is beautiful. Next up, of course, is Woven in Moonlight, which I may have actually read by the time this video goes up because I don't know when this video is going to go up. But I am so excited to read that. The premise sounds incredible, and yeah, the cover's beautiful. I just want to read it. I also want to read Camp by L.C. Rosen because I got to read an arc which I won in a giveaway of Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, and that book is so good, it's so incredible, and now I've only heard good things about Camp as well. I'm so excited to read it, and I just need an excuse to read it like yesterday, please. I'm also really excited to read Havenfall because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews of that one, and I'm really intrigued to see what it's like. I can't wait, and I'm so excited to read it for myself and to form my own opinions. The cover's beautiful, the premise sounds really interesting. I'm really excited to see what I think of it. Of course, I also really want to read Crescent City. I think I have the Waterstones exclusive edition of that, and honestly I wasn't going to read it at first, and I was like, I'm kind of over Sarah J Maas. If you watch my reading vlog, you'll know that I'm currently doing a reread of Throne of Glass and I haven't enjoyed it at all, but I still do really love A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury. A Court of Mist and Fury is the best book. But yeah, I have to say, I read the blurb for Crescent City and I heard that it was an adult fantasy and I wasn't terribly hyped, but then so many people have read it now and said it's amazing, and some people have even said it's better than her young adult books. So yeah, I am really, really excited. Also, I just want to say, like, if your response to hearing that Sarah J Maas wrote an adult book was, aren't her YA books already adult enough with all those sex scenes? Just stop. That then implies that young adult novels can't have sex scenes, which is just wrong. They can. You know, like, that doesn't make a book adult. I get what you're trying to do, but I just don't like that that trashes on young adult novels with sex scenes. I think we should be more sex positive in young adult novels because I think that's a much healthier way for young adults to hear about sex than, you know, like porn. Anyway, mini rant over. The final book I'm really excited to read is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Again, another one I wasn't going to read because it was adult and it sounded far too dark for me, but then I went to her tour for Ninth House and I hadn't actually bought the tour edition, but I was umming and ahhing about it, and I went to the tour because I wanted to get my Six of Crows duology signed, and I did. I got them signed, but while she did the Q&A first, I was listening to it and she was talking about Ninth House. I was actually thinking, you know, this sounds like one I could really enjoy, and maybe, because at that point I'd only heard from people who'd read ARCs, and those aren't representative reviews. They're a select group of people that get to read it, and I started to listen to her talk about it and hear from other people in the crowd who'd already read parts of it, and I realised it sounded much different to how the people who had read the ARCs had made it out to be. So I think a lot of the time people get spooked by some ARC reviews. Okay, so that's all the questions. This was a really fun tag to do actually. It's nice to look back. It's also made me realise that I've had not the best reading year so far, and part of that's because I signed up to NetGalley and I put really loads of pressure on myself to read all of these ARCs that I wasn't actually that interested in, and now I've stopped doing that, I'm hoping I'm going to start having more fun doing, well, just more fun reading, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited for the rest of the year. If you have any books you think that I should check out, especially if there's new releases coming out that you think I should know about, put them down in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. Also, if you have any books you've read so far this year that you think are amazing, let me know. I'd love to talk about them. I'd love to hear your opinions on any of the books I've spoken about as well. If you like this video, please subscribe and also like and comment. I'd love to hear from you. That's everything. So thank you for watching. Bye. I thought you might want to see what my view was while I was doing this video. Up until I turned the camera around, she'd been facing me. She's only just, like, curled up away from me. But yeah, she's so cute. I love her so much.